Hi, I'm Dan Delventhal, founder of MowGreen. As usual, I have a lot to say, so I'm going to move fast. But don't worry, you can get access to this recording and notes from us afterwards. So, excuse me, MowGreen has been doing full-service landscaping since 2006, focused on using electric, zero-emission equipment, organic treatment practices, aided by distributor Green Earth Ag and Turf supply and support. And we've always encouraged native species for rewilding, biodiversity, and ecosystem sustainability. Electric, organic, and native, EON for short, practices reduce pollution and noise, avoid toxins, and promote habitats where our natural local web of life and food chain can survive better. We address problems of climate change and severe weather from global warming, increased cancer rates and other health issues, and birds and bees population decline and other species extinction. Although historically controversial, electric, organic, and native-driven landscaping can be effective and profitable. MowGreen has happy clients and staff with growing revenues at profitability rates in line with industry averages. We want to share some of our tenets of success to encourage continued adoption and related social benefits. If we can continue to change land care, we can have dramatically healthier and more peaceful neighborhoods and also reduce climate change. Electric leaf blowers and mowers solve gas-powered leaf blower GLB related problems of noise and pollution, and many people are behind a massive movement toward more sustainable and quiet practices. Electric, organic, and native, EON, based lawn care. More and more advocacy groups are trying to educate the public and enact legislation to reduce the use of gas leaf blowers and other gas gear, encourage organic treatments and IPM over toxic synthetic pesticides, as well as more nature-friendly choices of landscape design, native planting, and eco-leaf cleanup. In increasing numbers since the origin of COVID, more and more towns and states are making changes to demand healthier practices, restricting or eliminating the use of gas-powered leaf blowers and other toxic, inefficient lawn gear. Over 200 cities and states have passed new laws. Often these laws have seasonal or annual bans on GLBs, gas leaf blowers. Due to better health outcomes, reduced noise, ease of use, and lower cost advantages of electric lawn tools, 55 to 65% of the lawn gear market has already shifted to electric powered tools, and it's expected to hit 85% by 2028. The continued improvement experienced in lawn care technologies will be more advanced in the growing, more dominant electric platforms in the coming years. And more laws and incentives are being considered to speed up the shift toward more sustainable landscaping. Here are some examples of states and cities acting to spare their communities from the health impacts of gas-powered lawn gear, particularly leaf blowers. There's been state activity in California, Connecticut, New York, and others, as well as many towns in Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Mass, Pennsylvania, and most others. As noted, over 200 new laws and growing. I've testified for over 20 towns in the region since 2018 as a working model to show that electric and organic and native lawn care works and that we can do without gas-powered leaf blowers. MowGreen has been on mission zero emissions since 2006, one of the first in the U.S. We are landscapers tending 60 acres weekly using all battery-powered leaf blowers, mowers, and more. Our clients range from a fifth of an acre to 10 acres. We've avoided the equivalent emissions of about 800 car trips around the world. MowGreen is clean and serene, no stinking gasoline. And we get off our ass to get the gas off the grass. Air and noise pollution are often cited as the reasons to restrict gas leaf blowers and other gas gear, especially those using two-stroke engines. The health risks are profound and numerous, while the waste, toxicity, and inefficiency are unnecessarily rough on the environment and public health. Given that electric blowers are a suitable and superior alternative, hundreds of governments and counting have restricted gas leaf blowers, or GLBs. Excuse me. Gas lawn care has high impact, environmental impact. Take Fairfield, Connecticut, for example, with a population of 60,000 people and 20,000 lawns. With gas-based lawn care, the air pollution is like 20,000 more cars on the road all year for 12,000 miles a year, every year. Or that's 2 billion auto mile equivalent emissions annually. That's pollution like 9,000 car trips around the world, one town. The Fairfield lawn care market is at least $30 million, and we hope to inspire today's providers to adopt electric and cater to the health and welfare of their staff and communities nationwide. 5 to 10% of our greenhouse gases, GHGs, emissions nationwide come from gas lawn gear. 25% or more of that is from gas leaf blowers. That's because gas lawn gear is 10 to 20 times more polluting per gallon than a car. The average third-acre lawn tended with gas and synthetics pollutes like a car on the road all year. As I mentioned, 12,000 miles, 5 metric tons of GHGs, as reported by the EPA 30 years ago. Back then, they also cited 5% of our air pollution was from lawn care. We believe it's gotten worse since then, probably closer to 10%. If we're right, and considering the U.S. as contributing 12% of global GHGs, then changing this one industry to electric could improve the world air pollution issue by 1%. Maybe worst case, 0.5%. So that's a significant change globally. And the picture here shows that Don Quixote is smashing an old two-stroke engine GLB for the cause. We've won awards for a model with low noise and carbon footprint. And when possible, we use renewable sourced electricity for charging while buying carbon credits or offsets to balance out any gas in vehicles. That can be as easy as checking a box with your electric provider, by the way, for a few extra bucks a month. Getting 100% renewable electricity. While standard electric still has a portion of renewable sourced energy, and even at that rate, if you're using a standard electricity, you're still avoiding 80 to 90% of emissions compared to gas power when using electric lawn tools. So customers and workers love that there are zero noxious fumes, unlike when the GLBs are roaring. Let's dispel some misperceptions about battery-powered leaf blowers based on many years of experience. Lawns around CT are the same as most in the Northeast and beyond. If you wanted to switch to electric lawn care tomorrow, my company and others like it could maintain your properties at the same competitive rates that you pay today. And companies using gas leaf blowers can buy a few electric models and get started right away. It's not rocket science. Secondary to public health concerns, gas leaf blower and other gas gear noise is an issue, also driving seasonal and annual gas blower laws across the country. Electric leaf blowers and other electric gear are quieter by far, and they are not the low frequency type of sound associated with gas gear. That actually travels, the low frequency sound travels far, penetrates walls, raises blood pressure, interrupts your thinking. So there's a couple of links here that show zero emission aeration dethatching. The other one shows a 4-foot wide push mower that we created back in 2012, mowing 4 acres without motors. Human powered tools are great exercise machines. We still make and sell a few reel-to-reel double or triple push gang reel kits that we developed in 2010. We did transition to electric mowing by 2013 in the business, though, and that was to become more competitive. Here's a photo from an article in Landscape Management magazine a few years back showing us with one of our favorite customers, the Green Village Initiative, Bridgeport Community Gardens. Even the plants are happier with less noise and air pollution. All our tools are battery powered, including mowers, blowers, hedgers, edgers, trimmers, chainsaws, sprayers, etc. All landscape tools are available in electric editions, and they are equal to or better than similar gas-powered tools. Easier starting, fueling, maintenance, quiet, zero emissions, and lower vibration make electric landscape equipment a pleasure to work with. We've tested a variety of manufacturers and models, and products from MowGreen and EGO are our current standards. MowGreen is the market leader for commercial mowers. It's an American company owned by Generac. We use 3, 4, 5, and 6 foot wide MowGreen electric mowers, as well as 2 foot wide EGO mowers. EGO is a leading brand for value and performance in small tools. Our partner company, Cultural, it's cultural, they sell EGO, Palance, Husqvarna, including the Mobots, and Sunseeker. Other leading suppliers include Steel, Exmark, Cress, and Greenworks. For mowing green, we used push reel mowers in the early days, sometimes 2 or 3 at a time. And we also converted gas mowers to burn pollution-free hydrogen that we made from solar panels for a while. It actually worked. But it was adoption of large commercial electric mowers beginning in 2015 that ultimately made us mainstream and competitive. So here's a 5-foot electric riding mower from MowGreen Products, part of our fleet. It has a solar charging canopy. Other popular large commercial mower brands would include Greenworks, Exmark, and Steel. Some landscapers are adding dedicated robot mowers to their service offerings at no additional client cost due to numerous benefits cited in university studies like UConn and sound economics. This is a growing segment of the market for landscaping providers and homeowners alike. Aerating and dethatching can also be done quietly and driven by electric mowers. Here's a front-mounted aerator on a 4-foot electric MowGreen stand-on mower towing a dethatcher power rake. You can do 3 fall grass overseeding related jobs at the same time with this setup. Zero emission, bag mowing, aerating, and dethatching. Pretty impressive. Now, years ago we adopted the EGO suite of tools, including hedgers, edgers, trimmers, chainsaws, and blowers, because their blowers were the most powerful at the time, and we wanted to standardize on their batteries for all tools. And this is a tool wall with 9 distinct kinds of tools routinely used in the business that they all use the same batteries. Many of them are interchangeable attachments that plug into a power head multi-tool. It's very convenient and flexible. So the technology is here now. We use it every day. And I mentioned clients range from a fifth of an acre to 10 acres. Today's battery blowers have more than enough power to get any job done on any size property year-round. Our 1,000 CFM battery blowers are as good as better than their gas counterparts. With new models in the 1,100 CFM range shipping this year, the issue of force is moot. Gas models this powerful probably exceed local noise ordinances. The set shown on the top left of the slide includes an EGO 880 CFM handheld blower with 2 batteries and a charger for $399. Although this model is considered prosumer, designed for professionals and homeowners alike, it makes complying with seasonal bans easy and performs well all year round. And the EGO commercial units shown are more rugged and have better warranty. We also use the commercial 1,000 CFM handhelds, and we plan to get some of the commercial 1,100 CFM backpack models for fall of 2026. The EGO individual batteries are rated for 800 to 1,000 charge cycles, and they offer a backpack battery rated for 1,000 to 1,200 charge cycles. Excuse me. Arguments based on power, runtime, weight, recycling challenges, or battery fires are all yesterday's arguments. Runtime is not an issue. Fast chargers and spare batteries keep us running all day. We spend less time switching batteries than we would refueling with gas. Hundreds of us have figured it out. You don't need 24 batteries per blower. An adequate garage charging area for 5 blower batteries at a time would consist of a single 20 amp 110 volt circuit with a single outlet and power strip. A power distribution manager, or PDM, allows for even more chargers on one outlet, cascading as charges complete automatically. For charging in the field, we typically use customer outlets and charge a battery or two while we're there. Large battery backups with inverters are now popular for RVs and electric lawn care. And we have a couple, but we found we rarely need to use them. Calculating electric capacity for charging electric tool batteries at the shop, it's easy. You take 80% of the amps available on the outlet circuit, or 16 in our example on a standard 20 amp outlet, 110 volt for example. Then for wattage to amps, divide the volts by the watts, and you get about, in this case, let's say your charge is 300 watts, that gets you about 3 amps per charger. You can safely charge 5 of these, and that's because 15 amps will fit within the 20 amp outlet, as we've just calculated. Adding a PDM allows you to double or triple the amount of chargers for this type of outlet because it queues them as mentioned and automatically cascades one or the other as charges complete. The objection to electric often comes down to cost, but there's also a misperception there. People focus on the potentially higher upfront cost, but ignore the total cost of operation over time, which is always lower for battery blowers and gas. Bottom line, using battery blowers provides a higher return on investment than choosing gas, and it's an investment well worth making. Although it appears that pricing for electric mowers and blowers with batteries can be 2 or 3 times that of gas units, the fuel charging cost advantages are 4 to 7 times better for electric. Factor in maintenance and longevity and operating cost advantage of electric blowers. The operating cost advantage of electric blowers could be 10 times better than gas. The savings with electric begin on day one. No more gas, oil, filters, spark plugs to purchase, saving time and money. No more significant maintenance, repair costs. Electric units rarely fail. They require little routine maintenance. This means less downtime due to failed equipment. Finally, electric units last longer. Batteries last 3 to 8 years. Recycling them is free at big box stores and solid waste facilities. I personally dropped them off. Our services are price competitive. The business is thriving. Our rates are in the upper median range of the market. Some companies that use gas and charge higher prices than us have even surmised that we've been subsidized by battery-powered blower manufacturers for our advocacy and price competitiveness. Not so. Now, I've been doing cost-benefit return on investment analyses for technology adoption for a long time. I once convinced HP Global Services to roll out software to 500 locations with 1,000% ROI analysis. These are simpler ROI models than that. To easily comply with a seasonal or summer gas blower ban, you can buy 2 880 CFM Ego handheld blowers that come with 4 batteries and 2 chargers. With typical summer usage, the ROI on that kind of investment is around 100%, not counting the time saved going to the gas station, the value of the tool that lasts longer than the GLB, saving more money over time, and avoided spillage and potential health damage from extreme sound and exhaust. Plus, you get a spare blower. So, even if we, and that's $800 compared to $600. So even if you added another $1,200 cost to this analysis for a 2 kilowatt hour mobile charging system, there would still be a double-digit return on the electric choice, or a 17% ROI. We have traditionally charged at our customers' outdoor outlets and not needed multiple charging much, especially in summertime. Our ROI models calculate return rates on electric adoption ranging from 10% to 100% versus gas gear every time. Depending on choices, the variability is depending on choices, including adding garage electric outlets, spare batteries and chargers, and mobile charging stations. But even if you do all that, you're still making double-digit returns. So next model is to get the heavier duty gear, bigger batteries, longer runtime, to comply with an annual ban. You can buy an 1100 CFM commercial backpack blower with 6 batteries, 4 chargers to effectively blow all day if you had to for about $4,400. With typical commercial usage, the ROI is around 25%, not counting the convenience, longevity, and pollution and noise benefits. We used this number invested in the calculation to include the spare batteries and chargers for the most intense continuous blowing conditions, yielding an ROI of 21% and above still for choosing electric over gas. Even if we added another $2,500 cost for mobile charging support of 7 kilowatt hours, there would still be a double-digit return, or about 12% ROI. And if we added another $1,200 in electric outlet capacity expansion for the garage, there would still be a double-digit return on the choice of about 10%. Choosing electric blowers over gas blowers for the year-round use is also a profitable choice. You can buy a commercial electric 5-foot riding mower that runs all day in a single charge for about $25,000. With typical commercial usage, the ROI is around 25 to 45% because it costs at least 7 times more per hour to run a gas mower. So even though the initial price of a gas mower may be lower, choosing electric is the profitable choice. All the major power equipment players are getting into the electric gear in a hurry. Over 60% of all lawn gear sold now is electric, as noted earlier. We use mostly Mean Green and Ego, while we are impressed with Palance, especially for commercial blowers, and Husqvarna for their robot mowers. Other major players for large mowers are Greenworks, Exmark, and Steel, while Cress is pretty good with small tools and fast charging. Although electric blowers are not nearly as dangerous and toxic as gas, it's still important to wear eye, ear, and lung protection. Decibel levels are still high when using turbo mode, and although it doesn't travel long distance and penetrate walls like gas blower noise, high-frequency electric blower sound merits ear protection to be totally safe from hearing loss or tinnitus. And although there are no toxic emissions like gas blowers, there's dust, so dust masks make sense. Blower users should use only enough power as required by the task at hand, controlled by easy triggers, and not overdo it by being in turbo mode all the time. Avoid pointing straight at the ground or too close to the ground to avoid plant damage, topsoil loss, soil drying, mulch loss, excess particulate matter, and maintain a parallel position, parallel to the ground direction when you're blowing. Avoid blowing at people, houses, or cars. And blowers are great for making piles, but not so much for moving them. There's nothing wrong with shoveling, raking, or tarping up a pile to move it toward its ultimate destination rather than blowing and scattering it around. It's crazy already. Sometimes it's such a waste, and things should be picked up rather than scattered aggressively. The tools have some circuitry in them, so bumps and bounces should be avoided, like any expensive tool. Sometimes users drag the plastic tips on the ground when moving them around, and that damages the nozzles slowly but surely over time. Don't do that. Often users want to finish a section, and they discover that even when a battery stops once because it's depleted, they can restart a couple times just to finish without changing batteries. Bad idea. Continued use of a battery after the first time it stops can damage it. Deep discharge damages batteries. Electric tools are more temperature resilient than batteries, but freezing is never good for material longevity, and neither is extreme heat. So try not to leave them in direct sunlight. You can use these tools in light rain. It's the IPX4 rating, but they're not totally waterproof, and direct downpour should be avoided. Lithium batteries don't like being left full or empty for long periods of time. A full battery that won't be used in more than a month should be left at 40 to 70% state of charge, SOC, because it's better for the battery life. Ego batteries are unique in that they automatically discharge themselves after 30 days being idle if they're sitting at a full charge, and they go to a better resting state of 30 to 40% charge. If our MowGreen mower batteries are still at full charge at year end, we take them down to 70% as they prescribe by using an inverter and a space heater for an hour or two. For charging, air temperature and battery temperature matter, so it's helpful to avoid charging when temps or batteries may be too cold or hot. A range of 40 to 80 degrees makes most sense. And worth repeating, no squeezing. When a battery stops running for the first time, don't use it again until it's recharged. And again, avoid storing or charging batteries in freezing temperatures, and don't leave them in direct sunlight, please. Surge suppressors and power strips are okay for multiple small battery chargers within the voltage constraints as described earlier. Although extension cords for larger chargers are discouraged, it can be safe considering the specs. A 10 or 15 foot 14 AWG rated extension cord is okay for light duty small chargers. But once you get to 25 feet or longer, and for larger chargers, 12 and 10 AWG gauge extension cords should be chosen. Bad choices with extension cords are dangerous. So as the cord is longer, the gauge number needed is lower, meaning higher gauge rating. The lower the AWG number, the more power the cord can handle. Damaged extension cords can heat up at the weak points and catch fire, so you got to look out for the condition of these extension cords as well. Battery life stays best when idle batteries are stored in the 50 to 75 Fahrenheit range, so unheated garages and sheds are not ideal for storage. Batteries have circuitry that we should avoid damaging with impact, so bumps and drops should be avoided. Lithium batteries have very low risk of fires, but severe impacts are the main cause of lithium fires, like a high-speed Tesla. So securing them in transport is good practice. Recycling is pretty easy with entities like Call to Recycle drops set up at Home Depot and town solid waste facilities accepting spent batteries in most cases. And there are times when special bags or cabinets are used for extra safety. If a lithium battery pack seems swollen, that may merit special precautions. And some battery repairs are possible, and we have special equipment and knowledge. And we've been able to repair some lithium batteries by identifying weak cells or replacing damaged circuitry. Pretty neat. Excuse me. Better practices with leaves management improves plant and animal ecosystems and reduces blowing. Whole leaves and beds support insects that support birds and so on. The whole leaves and beds are great mulch, protecting roots, retaining moisture, suppressing weeds, and feeding the soil while using less wood mulch. And they're great places for insects to survive over the winter as well. Mulch mowing leaves on lawns feeds the lawns while reducing bulk of leaves to be blown. The use of electrically driven sweepers and leaf plows also reduces blowing. By using more sustainable strategies, blowing can be reduced with ecological benefits, but it's an education process to discuss with clients. We approach it according to client preference. We'll do it however they want, but we try to teach best practices in conversation and in writing. We have a blog entry on our website that we refer people to It's called The Birds and the Bees and the Leaves We Ought to Leave, and it explains the eco-concepts for fall cleanup. And watering too much is bad. Too little isn't so bad, especially if you support plant diversity or drought-tolerant tall fescue grass in the majority of grass seed mixes. Blowers are great for making piles, I'll say it again, but not moving them. It's wasteful to strip leaves from one side of a property to another using only leaf blowers. Leaf plows save an enormous amount of time on large properties. We like them more than the leaf sweepers, which are not that ruggedized and have a large transport footprint. They're great for acorns, though. Leaf plows are amazingly efficient and superior to exclusively blowing and mulch mowing, blowing leaves, that is. And then remember, mulch mowing is a great value. Reduce bulk, feed the soil. Many people also blow leaves onto large tarps and then slide them rather than waste a lot of power blowing. Here's some of our revered staff in the picture gathered around a 6-foot wide electric mulching mower with a leaf plow. Styles are changing toward more ecological practices, and everybody's at a different point along the learning curve or the caring curve. It's important to discuss preferences and help coach clients for sustainable practices. We take pictures, put them in shared albums. Customers and staff can take notes on them, and that helps guide and track work. We also track customer unique preferences in the Customer Relationship System, or CRM, for notes on things like grass length, preferred, and fall cleanup instructions. We back up our discussions of sustainable cleanup practices with considerations listed in a blog entry, as noted earlier, on our website for easy reference. And it's good to check electric outlets for tolerances when the customer is home, in case you trip a breaker and have to get it flipped back over. While if the outlets have GFI resets on them, those are great. And by the way, it only costs 10 to 15 cents to charge a typical blower battery. Really amazing. Water is often an issue with lawn care, too much or too little. So we check those conditions out as well when setting up new accounts. Drainage, excess moisture could be an issue. The picture here is with Mel LeMay, Landowner Engagement Director of the Aspetuck Land Trust. Her lawn care preferences are in line with their Green Corridor principles. That's their initiative, which is like pollinator pathways and half-earth wild rewilding movements. Complementing MowGreen's electric landscaping practice are our organic methods and focus on native plants. It's part of our least harm philosophy to preserve the ecosystem for better public health. Reducing toxins and improving native biodiversity is more important now, as there has been a lot of damage done. So, no synthetics, go organic. Less lawn mowing, more food growing. No invasives, let's plant natives. When I first started offering non-toxic weed killers like vinegar and tick repellent like cedar oil, I got a surprise call from the state of CT. MowGreen was in violation of state law. We didn't have a CT, Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, DEEP, that is, Cat 3A pesticide supervisory license and business registration to offer solutions that kill or repel weeds or pests commercially. Fines and jail time were possible, but they offer an excellent and rigorous training and licensing program, and after 3 attempts on the written exams and 2 on the follow-up oral exams, I got licensed and authorized. We also ascribe to practices of IPM, or Integrated Pest Management, as outlined by the CTD, Pesticide Management Program. We are also a CT NOFA AOLCP business. That's a mouthful too. Connecticut Northeast Organic Farmers Association accredited organic land care professionals. So integrated pest management, IPM, it's an approach to use less toxic methods initially to solve pest management problems before considering chemicals. The next slide tells the story better. Try other things: prevention, sanitation, physical, mechanical, biological, before you go to the chemical option. Many synthetic toxic chemical pesticides can be endocrine disrupting, carcinogenic, and produce nerve damage for people, pets, and other creatures, while they often unnecessarily damage the ecosystem. It seems cancer rates are up, especially with household pets, and that seems linked to pesticides. We are mostly organic and are a NOFA AOLCP business. There are some situations when we use synthetics where they seem sensible. We do use organic products routinely for fertilizer, weed killer, pH control, probiotics, tick and grub repelling, and more, mostly guided and sourced from Green Earth Ag and Turf. Synthetics tend to kill soil, whereas organic practices focus on keeping soil alive and healthy with more microbial life forms in a teaspoon of healthy soil than people on the earth, if you get it right. Oh shoot, I forgot to show my company colors. Yeah, that's better. All right. MowGreen is clean and serene, no stinking gasoline. Yo soy el MowGringo loco. Now, especially being on the shoreline, we should be aware of how water basin engineers view traditional landscaping. They know about the runoff that's more likely with synthetic fertilizers and pesticides, especially because they refer to grass as green pavement that fosters runoff. Grass is needy and has lousy soak up, food supply to nature, and carbon sinking. Rewilding native trees and understory and lush native wildflower meadows can help make our waterways cleaner. For lawn care, whether it's a traditional synthetic chemical program or an organic program, the cadence is similar. It's a game of seed, feed, weed, weed, feed, seed. Adding some clover or other grass alternatives is useful for diversity. And when you get the soil healthy and plant seeds for what you want at the right times and keep the weeds down, ultimately you win. We help clients with grass lawn reduction by helping to install gardens, meadows, and wildflower patches. We also do some meadow maintenance, including infrequent electric mowing with special beast blades and also culling of weeds electrically. Excuse me. Soil tests are free from the Connecticut Agricultural Experiment Station, the Morgan method. The metrics they provide are quite useful: pH, organic matter, and nutrition levels. More insight can be garnered from tests at the university co-op extensions like UConn and Mass. Amherst, for more options like CEC and some toxins. Even more granular tests can be had from other sources to truly understand how to match soil to the objectives at hand. If the basic test is good but there's still problems, the CEC is a good thing to check. Get a little better test. That's a measure of soil fertility and capacity to retain nutrients. Here's the basics provided by the CT Ag Experiment Station soil test. The pH is one of the easiest problems to detect and resolve, while the nutrition feedback is great. Here's the report that they provide for the front and back lawn in this example, with an explanation sheet included. Just give them a cup of dry soil from each yard and your email address, and you can get this info for yourself. About the only weak spots on this report, well, of course, medium could use a boost. Organic matter is a little bit off. pH is a little acidy here, a little low. Nitrogen's low, maybe some grass clippings. It could be appreciated to boost nitrogen. Otherwise, the ratings are really good on phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium. Mowing grass long helps it stay healthy and dominant and weed free. It helps to cut the grass more frequently, so you are cutting less than a third of the blade if greenest grass is the target. Keeping clippings on the lawn supplies 15% of necessary nitrogen, and it's good for the soil for organic matter. Trimming edges at the same height as the lawn will avoid burnout and weeds there. It's best to mow when it's dry, and right before it rains is ideal. Mower blades should be sharp always for the health of the grass. Cleaning and disinfecting mower decks and blades between yards helps prevent spreading pathogens or weeds. Changing mowing patterns to avoid ruts of compaction from large mowers, good idea. Small dedicated mowbots are often feasible to displace large heavy mowers without maintenance price increases, and they avoid compaction along with some other benefits. A couple of lawn weeds are pesky, pervasive perennial crawlers worth mentioning. If we see them starting on a lawn, we want to stop, drop, and weed. Otherwise, once they're established, these two lawn weeds, Indian mock strawberry and creeping Charlie, also known as ground ivy, can really take over a lawn, and it's a unique case where we may use a non-organic but non-toxic systemic synthetic herbicide, tenacity in this case, for treating them to prevent the sprawl. Green Earth Ag and Turf has been helpful designing basic organic lawn treatment programs and suggesting other products as necessary. This chart shows probiotics, soil enrichment, pre-emergent weed control, fertilizer, and grub control, if necessary, and a simple organic program. Other organic products utilized include fungicides, post-emergent weed control, other pest control, soaps, oils, and other organics, mostly sourced with Green Earth Ag and Turf. Grass and clover seeds are staples of lawn care to establish a healthy lawn that naturally suppresses weeds. We use drought-tolerant, low-input tall fescue in the majority, mixed with minor portions of Kentucky Blue and perennial rye for a resilient mix. More rye is used in spring because it sprouts faster, and you want that in the spring to get it established before the rigors of summer. Grass is a cold season plant. It languishes in the heat. When clover is desired, we use regular Dutch white or micro clover. Clover provides more green, it makes lawns more heat tolerant, it feeds a little nitrogen to the soil magically. The flowers can be good for pollinators too. And we also mix in dense shade where sensible, and also offer slow grow lawn grass seed and wildflower seeds. When it comes to weeds, we sometimes welcome native weeds and discourage non-natives more vigorously. Native plants support food for native bees and birds, supporting healthy biodiversity and continuity of the ecosystem. We're losing bees and birds at a high rate and need to keep 70% of our plants native. Birds can't rear young or migrate on seeds alone without healthy insects and big fat caterpillars supported by native biodiversity. Doug Tallamy, professor of entomology at University of Delaware, author and disciple of E.O. Wilson, the founder of the Half-Earth Wild movement, seems to be saying that if we don't get this right, the whole food web will collapse. And recently NPR had an article sounding the alarm on the national invasive species increase and damage problem. I think it was entitled, "America, We Have an Invasives Problem," something like that. Reducing grass lawns for other native plants and habitat is good for the environment. More diverse lawns and turf alternatives, meadows, wildflower patches, bigger beds with green mulch, that's live ground cover rather than wood mulch, gardens, composting are all elements we encourage and support. Protecting the wetlands is important too. We should avoid blowing leaves in them. Concentrated dumping of leaves in wetlands causes excessive nutrient loading, reduces oxygen levels for aquatic life, and it can lead to algae blooms. We should never blow or rake leaves directly into or on the edge of water bodies, including streams, lakes, and wetlands. Part of our birds and bees loss is due to the loss of wetlands, an important part of the ecosystem to preserve. We've lost half of them. Recently, a big industrial plant out west needed a massive water cooling strategy, and creating a wetlands area was an alternative costing half what the proposed plan would be, and it became a successful wildlife preserve to boot. One of the favorite birding spots in the area. So we had high growth that leveled out beginning in 2022 when we started to localize services to a tighter geography for more efficiency. We transferred away 50 or 60 customers who were too far away to another electric lawn care provider over the past few years. That transition took some focus and reduced revenue, and yet we have been enjoying what lawn care business maven Mike Andes would refer to as an ideal scale plateau, about $750,000, supporting a full-time office and field management staff, allowing the founder to be less of a day-to-day operator and more strategic as an owner. With denser service routes and some new marketing, we'll be back to scaling up revenue and expanding Mission Zero Emission More in 2026. We're effective given our growth, history, and client retention, and profitable by landscape industry standards. Our margins align with industry averages. And the graph shows our revenue history and modest 3-year plan projection. We partner with other electric, organic, and native-focused providers to further the mission and build value for each other and our customers through efficiencies and economies of joint development and scale. EON Allies is a membership program to support EON-style landscaping growth and success, transitioning away from toxic approaches. EON Allies is a new initiative by MowGreen for 2026 and beyond. We're looking for new members who are operating or aspiring to operate by EON principles of landscaping with a lower environmental impact. MowGreen's Electric Switch Group is a new training initiative to support the mission of zero emission. We are teaching our first class for Lower Merion Township of Pennsylvania, where they are training landscapers to comply with a new gas leaf blower law. MowGreen testified at the hearing and vote when it passed in November, and will be providing training for landscapers in the spring on switching. MowGreen is a preferred training partner for eco-advocates because we believe in gas leaf blower legislation to further the mission for public health, and we have voluntarily testified for over 20 towns and ordinances. We look forward to developing other courses and leveraging our online learning system and the EON Allies membership program toward more rapid, eco-friendly landscaping changes. Again, our services at MowGreen are price competitive and our business is thriving. Clients, including those who used to hire gas contractors, are happy with the value, quiet, clean, quality work at market rates. Even customers who insist on squeaky clean lawns are satisfied. Our workers are safer, as are all workers who use electric equipment. They appreciate using gas-free equipment. And let's not forget the public health benefits, the chief reason for ordinances against gas-based machines. I'm proud to be a part of the landscaping industry. I know we don't always like change. Who does? Sometimes we even fight it. Yet we always manage to survive and even thrive. So thank you for joining me, and I look forward to hearing from you at switch@mowgreen.com, and looking forward to the Q&A session. Thanks again.